What the heck? I'm live. Really? You're not coming to the Bible study? Oh, you're going to listen to me from there. Okay. I'm so done with that. Anyway, glad we got one. All right, whatever. Yeah, two. It takes a minute. Howdy. I am, who is this dude I'm listening to? I'm listening to Zach Williams. YouTube that, Google that. Listen to Zach Williams. It's like he wrote a bunch of songs, and all of them are really, really good. And they're about Jesus, which is just bizarre. Anyway, the last Saturday night streamed Bible study because the numbers look great. It's really good news. I don't know what they're telling you out there. I don't know what to really say about the news that I've been watching. It's like the Black Plague is still a thing, and it's not the Black Plague. So anyway, the schools have opened. Kids are going to school. They've had some issues, but I ain't scared. So I think maybe this coming Sunday we may do. Now it depends on what we're able to do with rehearsal, with praise team rehearsal. I'm told by the praise teamers that they can come on Wednesday, and we'll meet at 5 like we did for years. And so that's what I'm hoping. Can't do that. I can do for a couple of weeks some really easy song sets. I don't want to do that because that's not the way you're supposed to plan worship. But we can do it without rehearsal for a bit. But we can't rehearse at 10 to 11 anymore. Well, 10:30-ish or whatever it was. But anyway, that's what we're talking about. So I'm thinking we'll do that. I will probably, I may bring my laptop to my Bible study on 9 o'clock. We may go ahead and stream the small group Bible study that we have in person. But it'll look different than this a little bit. Got some cool J.J. Abrams things on my screen. I don't know if you can see that, but there's light things on. I don't know what it's about. But anyway, maybe it's just on my screen. All right, we are in Luke chapter 15, beginning in verse 11. In your Sunday school course, we have it is on page 21. And we're talking about some stuff here. This is a very, very well-known story. Story you've probably heard many times. Story you probably sat through Sunday school Bible study many times. If this is the first time you've ever heard it, yay you, because you're finally looking at Bible stories. But this is very much a Sunday school story. And that being said, we take it for granted. We don't really. It's kind of, we take it for granted. And so let's not take it for granted. Let's step back. Let's try to look at what's here and understand what's here, because what's here is really, really good stuff. Most of us think the story of the prodigal son is about the prodigal. It's not. It's about his brother. And we're going to look at that at the very end. So let's just get into it. I really don't have any introductory things for you. I had something I want to talk to you about, but let's just move on. All right. Luke chapter 15, verse 11. And he said, there was a man, he being Jesus, by the way, there was a man who had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the share of the property that is coming to me. And he divided his property between them. Not many days later, the younger son gathered all he had and took a journey into a far country. And there he squandered his property in reckless living. All right, a lot of stuff here about raising children. Raising children's easy. You change their diapers. You keep them from poking their tongues in the light sockets. Their suicide They're trying to commit suicide all day long. Raising children is easy. And for those of you raising children, you're probably, if there's any of you out there, you're probably going, what planet are you from? Yeah, I raised a couple of them. I'm watching my grandchildren being raised. I'm watching people raise children in various levels of expertise and total ineptitude. I just hate to say that. There's some people doing it wrong. But raising children isn't hard. When they get to be adults, it's hard. They say when children are young, they walk on your toes. When children grow older, they walk upon your heart. That is a true statement. Now, having two 30-ish adult children, it's not so bad. Do some things better? Yeah, they could. Are they doing them better than I did at their age? Probably. Some not, some are, but yeah. There's this is a guy who has two adult sons, and one of them says, "Hey, Dad, when you die, you're supposed to give me you're supposed to give me some stuff. Let's consider you dead now, and go ahead and give me my stuff." And he gets his stuff. Squanders it, as it says, in reckless living. All right. Raising children, it ain't for sissies. Raising adults, it ain't for sissies. But at some point, when you have these children that turn into adults, you have to let them go. When my kids turned 18, I saw a post not too long ago on some social media, some bad social media, that was talking about, what is it in America where people take their 18-year-olds and put them out on the street? I don't know what they're talking about, because I haven't seen that. I haven't seen very many people want to do that or even do that. But they posted that, and I read about it, and I thought, well, that may be a phenomenon somewhere that I haven't noticed. We tend to hang on to our kids a little too long. I actually took my darling daughter as a 17-year-old because she decided to graduate high school a whole year early. She turned her junior year into her senior year, and I took her to the dorm at TVCC and made her live there because she was driving me crazy. It's probably good for me, maybe good for her. I don't know. She had a really good roommate, but that's what we did. And there was a lot of come and go in that situation. But this guy, he told his dad, "I want my stuff," and he took off. And the father let him go. I felt a tremendous sense of relief when my children reached of age. In our culture, it's 18. It may raise to 21. It may go down. I don't know what laws and stuff are going to do, but whatever. But I thought, okay, I got them to 18. They've done okay. Whatever happens after this is on them. And many of us, and I think I'm talking to an older crew here, we've got children and grandchildren. I have grandchildren older than me, for a fact. I think I'm stealing that, Paul Easter. I'm thinking it may be time for us just to kind of turn loose and let them go. Because that's exactly what the Father does in this made up story that Jesus tells. Jesus made this story up. Jesus is good at making up stories, great at it. But anyway, he makes the story up, and this father lets this kid go. He gives him his earned wealth, gives it to this kid, and lets him go. He probably saw this coming. The brother probably saw. Everybody in the household probably saw. From the lowest slave probably saw this coming. And sometimes we just have to do that. Now, does that mean that we have to give up this kid had some inheritance coming to him? I don't know how to factor that into our culture. It's my opinion that people should live every dime they make and not leave anything to their children. From my chair as a pastor who sees children fight over inheritance and do stupid things over stuff that's not theirs, that's kind of my opinion. However, The proper answer is, yeah, we can set our children up to better success if we will leave them a legacy behind, and a legacy in some sort of wealth. That would be the better thing to do. But, when they fight over it, when they fight over something that's not theirs, it sickens me. It really does. But this kid somehow got his stuff and he went away and he lived riotously, it says, or recklessly in this particular version. I believe we're doing English Standard Version. We're going to try to fix that one of these days. All right. So they left out a whole bunch of stuff. We're now in Luke chapter 15. We skipped to verse 17 from 13. What was skipped was very good stuff that we should read. Kid is tending pigs. He's spent everything. It's all gone. And by the way, once it's gone, it's gone. There may be a government safety net. There may not be, So he's in a pigsty. He's looking at the pigs. He is envious of them and what they're eating because he's hungry. And there's pigs. He's poor. He's pitiful. And he comes to himself. And that's what it says here in verse 17. But when he came to himself, he said, how many of my father's hired servants, listen very carefully to this kid's mind. How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread? I'm starving. They have more than enough bread, but I perish here with hunger. I will arise and go to my father. I will say to him, listen to what he says. This is important. I wish every child would read this. Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired servants. All right. First of all, you know what? I need to read it. And he arose and came to his father, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion and ran and embraced him and kissed him. And the son said to him, okay, remember the planned speech? Now listen very carefully what the real speech is. Father, I've sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer to be worthy to be called your son. But interrupted him. He did not get to finish. Just treat me like one of your hired hands. The incredible humility he had, he didn't even get to communicate it. But the father said to his servants, bring quickly the best robe, put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, and bring the fattened calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found, and they began to celebrate. All right, sorry I stopped there. First of all, the father did not go and bail this kid out. He did not helicopter him. I have some newish neighbors. They've been around a while. They're nice folks. I like them. They got two young boys. And I noticed right away that they are not what's called helicopter parents. There are a lot of parents today that just hover over their kids, making sure they don't stump their toe, get into trouble, get stung by bees, kidnapped by human traffickers. They're letting their kids live their lives here in our neighborhood. And I personally think that's the right move because I live across the street from the park. They're my neighbor. I know the guy across from them. I know the next neighbor. There's like a rent house where there's people coming in and out. I'm not sure about them, but we'll take care of them. And then I got another neighbor. There's good people in this loop, and there's a park here. No need to helicopter kids here. We're looking out for one another. But if I see kids in the park, I keep my eye peeled. I'm pretty sure when my grandkids go to the park that my neighbors keep their eye peeled. I forgot the cross the street neighbor who is an amazing, wonderful person, and her dogs bark, and sure she's going to keep up with us. So, but they're not helicopter parents. They let their kids run around. And one day I'm working on the boat, which is what I do outside these days. And poor kid, he gets on one of the swings and he gets stung by red wasp, which I'm kind of got a heart for. Stung here, stung back here. I ain't getting stung again because I'm pretty sure I'm going to die if I get stung again. But anyway, he is screaming bloody murder. He has been stabbed by terrorists. But I knew what happened because Eli had gotten stung over there once. I'd be red wasp stinging people. That's what's going on. And I knew his pain. It was going to go away. He runs home and he's fine. His big brother what's he doing? Just lets him go. 6 or 7 year old big brothers are useless, but they get better. They do get better. but they're not helicopter parents. And that's not what this dad is. And being a helicopter parent is a wrong move. We need to let our kids experience things, experience some pain, get some pain and hurt. It hurts us way more than it does them. It really does. But this father does not go and bail this guy. He lets him fail. Jesus said to let your children fail. Your adult children. Sometimes your junior high children, if you got a kid who's relying on you to do his science project at the last minute every single time it happens, let him fail. He'll probably do better. On the other side of that are a lot of parents that not paying any attention ever. That is worse, way worse. I see a lot of parents bailing their kids out, and I see a lot of parents that just aren't engaged at all. These kids are just some sort of, they're an annoyance. Okay, that's terrible. Can't do that. This father raised this kid. He brought him to age. Kid asks for his stuff. He goes and gets it. He blows it in riotous living, and father does not bail him out. He stays home and waits for the kid to come home. It's an important lesson. Some kids need to come home. Some parents need to let kids come home. They need to wait until they fail so that they will come home, because it makes them better. I've got some stories to tell about this. They're just too personal. I'm not going to. But letting your kids fail when they need to fail is a difficult thing to do, but it is a biblical thing to do. This is a story Jesus concocted. He said, listen, this father let his kid, he loved him, so he gave him what he wanted. He went and he I'm having trouble with words right now. He blew it in riotous living, and his dad let him do it. He let him live in the pigsty. He let him get hungry. He let him get starving. He let him do that. It's way easier just to say, I'm not going to let my kid do that. But it's not way better. Sometimes we have to let our children suffer the consequences of their bad decisions. I got real fortunate in my life. I was forced to do that. My dad died when I was 17 years old. And every bad decision I made after that was on me. I think I made fewer bad decisions. I made plenty of whopper, horrible decisions after that. But I didn't waste anything. It was tough, but not everybody can get the gift of their dad dropping dead on them. I'm gonna call it a gift because I don't know that I would have survived. Yeah, my dad wasn't a helicopter parent by any stretch of the imagination. He was 49 years old when I was born. He was pretty much done with child rearing by the time I was born. He wasn't a bad dude though, but anyway, a lot of things changed when that happened. So this father allows this child to fail, but when he comes home, he doesn't hold it over his head. He doesn't hold past sins over him. I have a hard time with people who gave away their children's childhood to somebody else, to a drug, to alcohol. I can be harsh to those people, but at the same time, once they get it fixed and once they come back, once they get it right, it's time to put the robe on their back, the ring on their finger, kill the fatted calf, and be happy they're home. It's a glorious thing when your kid comes home. It's glorious, and we see that here. He kills the fatted calf. He has a party. My son who was dead is alive again. He who was lost is found. And they began to celebrate. I think I got all the notes. I want to talk about the humility of the son. When he let this kid fail, when he let him get hungry, this kid came to himself. He began to understand who he actually was before God. That's important. He was humble. The father didn't even let him finish the speech that he had practiced. He had practiced this speech where he said, treat me as one of your hired servants. Father, I was your son. I took my inheritance. I squandered it. Now make me your slave. I'm better off as your slave than I am my own master. That is some incredible humility. And that's the gift that the father gave to his son. He didn't have it before. He said, hey, Dad, give me my stuff. I'm going to go blow it. And the gift that his father gave to him was this incredible humility that I'm better off as a slave to my father than I am as a master of my own life. And when you come to God and to Jesus in our own lives, that's where we all have to come. I'm better off a slave to Jesus than I am a master of my own life. Serve God and be our best self. Be what God created us to be. And that's what the prodigal son found. He found out that by going out and blowing everything, he could figure out that his father, his heavenly father, was better than he was. All right. So now then, what the story is really about. We think it's about the son going and coming home, and then that's what we think. And that we were all sinners. We were given life by God, and we squandered it. And then we come to find out that what we really need is Jesus Christ and His blood and His salvation. And we come to Him, and we come home to God as prodigals. That's a great story, but really, most of us are not the prodigal. Some of you are. Some of you are absolutely the prodigal. You squandered a whole lot of your life. Ill-spent youth, as I'm told, some people say, or drugs or alcohol or whatever, just wasted time. Most of us are not that. We're the brother. We're the guy that's been serving. Yeah, I squandered my life till I was 17 years old, but you know what? I didn't live a lot of life till I was 17. I gave my heart to Jesus when I was preached when I was 18, 19 years old. I spent the vast majority of my life serving the Father, working the farm, tending the goats, working the fattening the calf. That's what I've been doing. And that's what you've probably been doing as well. Most of us, that's what we've been doing. Yeah, there's an element of prodigal son to us, and to varying degrees. Some of you, a lot more prodigal. I've used the word prodigal. I know what it means, returning son, but, the story is, he squandered, fell down, went to the bottom, and then picked himself back up. Or came back home and his dad picked him up. And all of us identify with that story in some small or maybe very large way, or maybe you've been way worse than him. I don't know. But most of us are the brother. And that's who the story is really. So here's your lesson. Now his older son was in the field, working the farm. And as he came and drew near to the house, he heard music and dancing. And he called one of the servants and asked what these things meant. And he said to him, your brother has come, and your father has killed the fattened calf because he has received him back safe and sound. But he was angry and refused to go in. His father came out and entreated him, but he answered his father, look, these many years I have served you. I never disobeyed your command, yet you never gave me a young goat that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fattened calf for him. And he said to him, son, you are always with me, and all that I have Oh, I'm sorry. All that is mine is yours. It is fair to celebrate and be glad, for this brother was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found. All right. Who was the better son? I'm sorry, y'all can't answer. There's nobody chatting. Anyway, who was the better son? Well, obviously, it's the son that stayed home and did the work every single day. Who got more benefit? The prodigal got a party and one fatted calf. The brother got every single day with his father. Often we don't appreciate the accumulated blessing or benefit of the everyday. A friend of mine, I guess I can call him a friend, acquaintance of mine, a preacher hero of mine, is celebrating 68 or 69 years of marriage today. I noticed that on social media. Is a brand new relationship interesting and cool and wonderful? Yeah. But what is 68 accumulated every single day's worth? I'll take the 68 accumulated every single days. I just will. I've got 38. How many years have we been married? 38? 7? 6? What? 37? It's not 38 yet? Oh, okay, 37, she says. I'll trust her. I'll take the 37 accumulated every single days over. And my preacher buddy has spent 30 more years than me, 31 more years than me, being married to his wife. Amazing stuff. All right. That means they probably got married when they were very young. Probably just, I'm sure they were 18 or 19 years old. That's what happens. Surely. And they're old people. So anyway, who was the better son? Well, the one that was there every single day. But the father is good to both. All right. We think this story is about the prodigal, but it's really mostly about us and how we respond when somebody who may have done it wrong for a long period of time finally does it right. We need to be on the team of those people who struggled and then get it right. I hear so many people saying to me that people don't change. If people don't change, I have wasted 30-something years of my life in ministry, because if people changing is my ministry. If people don't change, then I got nothing. And if you can't see that people change, there's something wrong with your eyes, not wrong with what's going on in the world. I get it. Often people don't change a lot until they finally do change. But we never know when. And I see it all the time. I mean, people pulling the same old stuff, same old financial stupidity, same old relationship stupidity, same old sexual stupidity. They same old addictive, same old alcohol stupidity, same old drug stupidity, same old nicotine stupidity. People do change. People don't often change, but people do change. And that's what Jesus is saying. The brother's kind of out of sorts because his brother, who he's probably thinking, okay, he's home. What stupid thing is he going to do next? That's between his brother and his father. It's not between him and his brother. All right. Big, I'm going to call him Big Brother. I'm assuming the other one's the little brother. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a little brother. I don't know. But anyway, I'm assuming that Big Brother is the one who, I'm assuming it's Big Brother, Little Brother. I'm assuming he's thinking that little brother's gonna mess it up again. Being a realist, that's probably a good bet. But being a person of faith, that's a terrible place to be. people often become what we expect them to become. If we expect them to fail, they often do. If we expect them to succeed, they might. They may also fail. But what's the better position? The better position is to expect people to succeed. If you get disappointed, shake it off. It's fine. I've been disappointed 1,000 times. But when I'm not disappointed, it is miraculous. Nothing less than miraculous. So let's get on each other's teams. Let's be cheerleaders for faith and for change and for returning and people coming to God. I don't know what else I can say about that. If y'all will do that, we'll watch Jesus turn this world right side up. He'll do it. He'll make it right again. We got riots still. Good grief, we still have riots. We have incredible assaults against our way of life, our Constitution. But you know what? We just need to be the people of God and be each other's best friends, be each other's best brothers. I got your back. I do. I want to have your back. And I want you to be the best you can be. And I'm getting a phone call. And I'm going to take that phone call. I'm going to see y'all. Bye.